soup? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today. With me I have some more RPG horror stories. Have you ever played a campaign and you did something wacky as a DM, or try to include other game mechanics into your game? I recently had players go visit one of the other players' villages that is kind of on the path of a giant horde attack, and they basically played colony sim and built different barricades and fortifications, and are currently trying to make allies between the Lokatha and the Kuatoa. It's really fun watching them gather the resources and spend the resources and build stuff. It's kind of like watching my players play RTS, but in D&D, and I seem to really enjoy it, and I'm so happy about that. What are some weird things you've included from other games into your campaigns? And while you write that, I'll get to the first RPG horror story for today. DM enforces plus 18 sauna scene. How do you enforce an 18 plus sauna scene? You just go like, hey guys, if you don't have an 18 plus erotic sauna scene, I'm not DMing, so you better start role-playing, erotic role-playing. Anyway, let's continue. This happened a long time ago, so some things are blurry, but I remember most of it. So I was in my 4th game of online D&D in my life. The party was big, like 6 or 7, cause someone was missing all the time. Long story short, we were sent to find the oldest daughter of the generic king. All the leads and clues we got was 3 places: a sauna, a sex house, it was written this way, and a library. After a lot, and I mean a lot of discussion, the GM was participating and influencing a lot, we went to the sauna. We entered, and the rules of the place stated that no one with clothes could enter. We read that, but decided to go anyways, see if someone could give us the info we need, and just go our way. The GM started describing the place like a Zootopia movie. He was a lot into furries and stuff. He did a homebrew for animal races and stuff related. Cowgirls, fox girls, lion dudes, and the list was on. He described everything with a lot of detail before saying that some guys block off the door we just entered through. We're in the 5th red flag, I guess. Wait, hold on, 5th red flag? Where are the other flags? What happened? Hold on. You're on the 5th red flag and you continuing. Interesting. Let's see how this goes. I was about to roll initiative, cause in my head there would be like a massive fight or whatever, but he says, a group forms around you all, and the Viper Lady says, if you want the information we have, you need to impress us on our style of fighting. Our bard said, well, what kind of fighting? Viper Lady response was to take off the towel around her body, and everyone animal that did the same. When the GM said this, a second after, I just got off, blocked the guy, and yeah, ghosted the group. I can never know what happened in that call that night, but I received a message from someone from the party, a GM friend I guess, that said, you lost all the fun, written exactly like that. It was enough for me to block the rest of them and never go to D&D games that have animal people in the main plot ever again. Note, I guess everyone on the table was 16 or 17. I don't know a lot about them. I was 16 at the time. I actually watched Zootopia with Mary like last month or something. We watched that, and there was a yoga scene in the first film, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of what makes me think of this. Just every animal person is just naked, or every animal humanoid is naked. Don't go into a naked bath with a bunch of animal people or anybody at all. Why did the DM do that? What is the point? What do they expect? They're gonna sex grapple or something? Roll for boner. What are they expecting? Anyway, let's continue. GM let us battle an overpowered monster, then take out the fun out of the game. Okay, let's put out the important parts. Me, BS. Wizard friend, WM. Sorcerer, DM. I'm not gonna go with BS and WM. I'm gonna go with bacon sandwich and white marble. Sure. This took place on one of the Westmarch servers that got popular due to lack of campaigns. We were sent a message by a town populated by bugbears to defend them from some dark eldritch lady that snatched one of them each now and then. The fight was good, I admit. Our DM knows how to run a fun combat, but at some point of the fight, the eldritch lady starts to flee. Not wanting to have her threatening those bugbears anymore, I cast Vortex Warp to drag her back to the battle. Ooh, you done messed up. Why? You weren't supposed to prevent her from escaping. Well, how the hell would I know that? You sure still want to go with it? I guess we already dragged her back. There's no visual reason to stop and let her go. Okay, fair warning, this will very much kill you. Well, it's not like our characters can know that. Let's keep fighting. So the Eldritch Lady enters a second phase, where she grew tentacles and lashes them at my wizard. A failed con save later, and I'm grappled, restrained, blinded, and have disadvantage in all my dice rolls. Okay, this is your last warning. You're going to make more con saves, and if you fail 3 of them, your soul will be torn apart. Why tell me this instead of warning my character instead? Well, she can't speak and threaten you in this form. Looks like a sign to keep pushing. And after that, I use my favorite spell in the game, Tensor's Transformation, to negate a lot of the effects based on my wizard, and to help with the con saves. But with a few lucky wild magic surges from the sorcerer, we managed to barely kill the thing. We were out of our minds, we almost forgot about all the awkward warnings from the DM after achieving this victory. Man, that could have went badly. Well, it didn't, you just underestimate us. Well, no, I had to nerf a big chunk of her stat block so you guys have a chance of killing her. Have her end this normally, you guys would have been way beyond recovery. Listen man, if you want to bring her back later, you can. It's not like we tore her soul apart. Oh, forget it. DM left the VC after hanging out a reward, and all this valor and glory of defeating the monster tasted bitter. Our fun was ruined, but we roleplayed for an extra hour, so it was worth it, I guess. Thanks for reading, and a side note, the DM wasn't a bad person. We're still friends to this day. But this particular instance was worth putting here. You know what would be worth putting? And nothing is a story in anything but punctuations. Please, man. A full stop, a comma, a little bit more, you know? Please, sir, can I get more punctuations? Punctuations aside, this sounds like a kind of DM that just wants to make an overpowered character that they want to run away for story reasons. But if they don't run away, oh, suddenly they become overpowered. I had a DM that did that. They had, particularly, here's a recent story, the most recent I can remember. They had a null character that's like a null boss of the entire pack, and they started running away, right? So my buddy is though playing other characters and stuff. One of them was playing as a monk, who monks are super fast. He decided, I'm gonna use my monk abilities to start chasing him really fast and catch up to him and kind of try to lock him down with stunning strike. Apparently the guy resists stunning strikes, 1, resists opportunity attacks, 2, can suddenly turn from having 2 multi attacks into 4 multi attacks, 3, suddenly every single attack crits immediately no matter what, and then suddenly can just negate up to 50 points of damage for no reason. It sucked. It was terrible. It was the worst thing ever. It's just suddenly out of nowhere, oh, my favorite GNPC is running away. I better make him overpowered and almost godlike. It's annoying as hell. It's fine if you want to give your bosses like a second phase or something. There's nothing wrong with that. But if they're running away, don't just suddenly make them overpowered for the sake of making them overpowered. If you don't want people to catch up with them, make it so that she, I don't know, counterspell the vortex warp and she can run away or something. I don't know. Come up with more creative ideas if you want your bad guy to run away for the sake of running away. I've done it before, but you know what? I always let my players have a chance of stopping them because that's the only fair thing to do. If you want your bad guy to run away, at least give the players a chance to stop them. I always give my players a chance to make it fair. If they stop the bad guy, they stop the bad guy. If they don't, the bad guy runs away. It is what it is. Anyway, let's get to the next story for today. Expressly remind regular DM player I'm not interested in PvP. DM goes there anyway for horror one-shot. It's pretty simple, I just hate PvP games. It's the #1 no to my session 0 non-starter list, as a player and a DM. I mean, it depends on a TTRPG, like D&D I know is not designed for PvP, I don't think Pathfinder is designed for PvP either. It's just so much of a mess. It's more of a PvE experience rather than anything. DM who runs a weekly game I play in and plays in a weekly game that I run and we've gamed together for almost a year sends a message pre-game. You're in with a cult, sacrifice 1 player. Bruh, I played Paranoia when it came out. I stayed alert and trusted no one, kept my laser handy, and it was an exhausting waste of my time and energy. Mechanically 5e ain't geared for Among Us type games. Video games do every element of those things, only better. Personally, I'd rather just play Fortnite than any TTRPG that's PvP. As a DM, I know what my obligation is here. I respond right away with, hey, PvP is a no-go for me. Is there any way this game can go ahead without it? Get a, yeah, no problem. Cool, I talked to my DM, said this ain't cool for me, got the okay. Yeah, this ain't up in RPGHorrorStories, is it? Proceed into the game. The team skirts off, you've been in this village for hours, know nothing about it, and haven't had time to look around, kinda one-shot start. And the group tries to hit with the ground running, faced with hard choices, mysterious voices, typical horror stuff. About 3 hours in, when my character gets backstabbed and one round dusted by another player, which the DM has cleanly been encouraging all along in private messages. Hint, silence your notification during game. Again, if you want to have like a horror RPG one-shot, Halloween was literally, well, I'm recording on the 1st, well, technically the 2nd, it's like 1 in the morning, basically, almost 2 in the morning. Yeah, Halloween was around the corner already, and yeah, spooky times is perfect time to do it, even in November. Even if you play like a late spooky time in November, I think it's perfectly fine. I find no problem with it. If you want to have a spooky one-shot, go for it. Any time is perfect time for it. But in this situation, you probably don't want to have like a overarching PvP scenario where people have to distrust each other. And like, what is the point of having PvP if this is a PvE specific game from the ground up? It's about working together in tandem and teamwork to overcome challenges and enemies and bosses and dungeons and dungeon crawls and stories and investigation and everything. The whole point of it is you as a party, not contestants or enemies, are working together to do all kinds of adventures, solving mysteries, killing bad guys, getting loot, dungeon clears, whatever it is the DM desires and whatever it is the players desire. The game is just straight up not built from ground up to PvP. I'm sure there are other TTRPGs that are PvP focused you could probably try to play. I don't know which ones are out there. I haven't really done my research. I'm assuming Vampire the Masquerade might have some PvP, but I'm pretty sure that one also encourages players to actually work together and actually use each other's abilities in tandem. I have a lot of experience with D&D and a little bit of experience with Exalted 3rd Edition. I think Exalted can have some PvP, but it's more dramatic rather than anything. But with the D&D 5e, it's heavily pushed towards having a cooperative experience, not a PvP experience. And forcing PvP out of nowhere like this is kind of shady. I mean, even the player said, hey, I'm not cool with PvP. That's not a sign for DM to go, ah, cool, you won't do PvP. That guy will do PvP and they will kill you. It's weird. My character knocked. I dipped from the chat to cool off. Talked with a couple of friends to get their view on things just because I was fairly pissed and wanted to check myself. I want to be clear, I'm no prima donna. If the DM had said, hey, this session is going to have PvP for sure, I would have bowed out happily and bid him a fun session. Care level 0. The exact opposite happened though, and I wasted about 4 hours of my time. Now, I'm not even sure there's a right or wrong here. Mostly misunderstanding or misjudgment about the sincerity of a no-go zone. Does this feel like a teachable moment about respecting the boundaries of the people you play with? So, do with this what you will. You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. You watching, you the viewer, how about you let me know what you think about PvP and TTRPGs in the comment section below. I genuinely want to know. I want to know your take on this. Here's my take. Some TTRPGs, probably most TTRPGs, aren't designed for PvP. They're designed for PvE cooperative gameplay where you play with a team as a unit and you fight bad guys and BBEGs and do puzzles and conquer labyrinths and dungeons and all that stuff. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a way to play. Maybe PvP can add something flavorful. Like, for example, if let's say, for example, you have two players that want to be rivals, and occasionally they want to have like a little practice bouts or dramatic moments where they fight nearly to the death, you know, like in an anime moment where two rivals basically fight until they beat the hell out of each other before they like shake hands and become best friends. That is the only time I think PvP is cool, is if both parties agree to it and it's done for the sake of story and progression of the story and not for the sake of just killing the other player outright and ruining their fun. Because nothing is more fun than just be like, hey, I'm playing here, backstab, you're dead now, player. You could just sit here for another 3 hours while everybody else gets to play. That just ruins other fun. If PvP is done to ruin other players' fun, it's not really that fun now, is it? That's my thoughts and opinions. But you can let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to see what you say about that. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.